Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I uploaded. Anyway, in today's topic, we'll be talking about the Tekken 8 demo that was recently released on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Unsurprisingly, no PS4 or Xbox One versions, because at this point, those two consoles aren't holding up 10 years later. I'm still surprised Mortal Kombat 1 even received a Switch port at all, but I digress. Now without further ado, let's just get straight into the game, and we are greeted with a cinematic of Kazuya and Jin battling in a storm. Now, one obvious notable difference is the graphics. Not only the game has that, there are more cinematic flair compared to the rest of the Tekken series, more slow motion, different angles, as well as the game looking more vibrant and colorful, a change that I hope stays from now on. Now, I never liked the dark and lifeless. I say that loosely because games like MK11 and Tekken 7 look fantastic, but the colors were always washed down to me, unfortunately. There's a reason I haven't mentioned Street Fighter 6 because of how terrible it looks on Series S, but we've seen now with MK1 and Tekken 8 that the Series S has far more potential than developers think and people in general. Well, yes, the PS5 and Series X look far better. It doesn't change how badly optimized the Street Fighter 6 port was on Series S, but that Yor and Chun-Li animation was hype, fantastic and beautifully animated. I want to see more of this stuff in the future. Also, yes, I am playing on the Series S version of Tekken 8. However, it still looks fantastic. I'll show a side-by-side comparison of the game on PS5 and Series X and S. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's finally get right into the game. So, this is what you see when you first boot up the game. Not much to do since at the time of writing this video, the game hasn't came out and actually comes out on January 26, 2024. So, what do we have available to do in this demo? Well, we have the story mode, the arcade, offline, and the gallery. That's pretty much all there is so far in the demo. I'll go over each individually and go have my own little review of each mode, but I must preface this is my first time playing any Tekken game ever. I tried 7 and that was for 5 minutes and haven't touched it since, so I may not know what I am talking about, but keep this in mind. So we'll start with the offline play. So who are the characters we can play as? Well, we have Kazuya, Jin, Nina, and Paul, which are only playable characters in this demo. You can play with a friend if you have 2 controllers, and you can also play against a CPU, which is also really nice. You know, you can play with a friend, or you can, do some practice and stuff. Now, one thing I found odd was the exclusion of practice mode. It's weird to me. You'd think you want to get players invested by learning the mechanics at their own pace. However, I won't complain too much about it because this demo is already nice. However, I just find it odd that it was not included. Let's actually get into a match style though. So as you can see, we are given 3 maps to play in, which I don't mind. My favorite is usually the first map in the city. So this is where I suggest you take my word with a grain of salt. So the combat is different, but like I said, this is my entry to the second series, so here we go. Now I will also preface this, I am used to playing Smash Bros and Mortal Kombat, so the movement is a lot weirder to me, but I got used to it really fast, and I gotta say I prefer this over Smash and Mortal Kombat. Actually, the movement feels fluent and it's preferable to play on the D-pad rather than the analog sticks for the arcade style rather than special mode, which I'm not using regardless of how bad of the game I am. Okay, so here we go. You can play left or right, meaning which side you're playing on the screen. Basically, you're either in the left side of the screen or on the right side of the screen. It's the same stuff. Now, the movement works like 2.5D. You can dodge attacks by either crouching or by dodging, whether you back away or move to the side. Backing away works by double tapping the left or right on the D-pad. Moving to the side works either by double tapping up or down on the D-pad. The same case applies for the analog stick, but like I said, it is preferable to play with the D-pad because it's a lot easier to move around. When moving to the side or crouching, you can easily counter your enemy, whether by grabbing or doing a heat attack. Now, I didn't fully understand this when playing the game, but I'm assuming when you hit your opponent with the heat move, it gives you a chance to do like an auto combo, if you will, and that's pretty much it when it comes to movement. Now, attacks, you can do your throws and punches with the Y and X buttons, kicks with the A and B buttons respectively. Now, throws you can do with pressing both Y and B and X and A in the Xbox controller simultaneously, 2 buttons at the same time in order to activate a throw. You can also do regular inputs with directional inputs on the D-pad. You can do like a axe kick, spinning kick, with a Jin in this instance. And another example examples with Kazuya's, fast kick. I don't really know what to call it, but you go left on the D-pad and press B, and he has like this really fast kick. You can also switch from arcade style to special style by pressing LB in game, similar to Street Fighter 6's classic and modern control schemes. In the demo, you are placed in a best out of 5 rounds, so it can get intense when it is game 5 of the match. I have explained the controls and mechanics from my knowledge only. This is a simple way to explain it from what I am trying to explain. Correct me if I am wrong in the comments below, and I appreciate the feedback. The 4 characters each have a different fighting style. Jin and Kazuya play similarly aside from inputs and their heat ultimates. Nina plays like an assassin using weapons in her attacks, while Paul is also close up but has no devil powers like Jin or Kazuya, given their own victory animations respectively as well at the end of the match. Also, another thing I wanted to point out was the sheer speed of the loading times. Man, fighting games always excel when it comes to loading time. I messed around with the difficulties for a bit and found to beat the AIs quickly just by knowing how the movement works with moving to the side and backing away. However, I do know once the game comes out and I go online and play other people, I'm gonna get cooked by the Tekken community because I am not good at this game, let me tell you. Yeah, that was the offline mode. Really gives us a nice taste of the game and a well done job over to the devs at Bandai Namco. So let's jump into the gallery and I'll briefly gloss over this. All this really is a recap of the Tekken game summarized, and I believe it's supposed to show concept art for the stages and characters and more once you beat the story mode once the game comes out. Other than that, well, that's pretty much it for gallery. Now let's head on to arcade. The arcade, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really touch much upon it, but I did mess around with it briefly. It's pretty much chibi art style type of thing, and you play Tekken matches and get far in a league, I believe. Like I said, I wasn't interested in it, but now we'll hop in the story mode, which we are given 1 chapter to play in this demo. So the story begins with Jin chasing Kazuya, and he does this badass move where he throws his motorcycle over to the helicopter and crashes it. Enter Kazuya coming out of the fire, and Jin has the intention of defeating Kazuya, which is actually really difficult in game, and I actually had a tough time playing this in normal mode, losing a few times before we enter a sequence of defeating Kazuya, which is really damn difficult, by the way. Now I just want to say there is no loading times, fortunately, which does make it feel smooth. Some cutscenes are on 30 FPS, but they're live action cutscenes that are made in 60 FPS, and wow, there is so much happening around the city. Citizens are dying, Kazuya is getting his ass handed to him. Definitely, but everybody's favorite video game trope: win in game, lose in the cutscene. So after Jin gets his ass whooped by Kazuya, pretty much Kazuya holds the world hostage by pretty much saying only the strongest can live, and hosts an Iron Fist tournament with fighters all over the world willing to join. And that's it for the story. At least it will be a while before the game comes out, and that's fine. This was a fantastic demo overall. If you have a PS5 or Xbox Series X and S, then please try out the demo. It's really good, and I plan to do a full story review of the game once I get my hands on it, once it fully releases. And until then, you guys enjoy yourselves and have a good one.